Hey guys, and welcome back to Double Thrill. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number, the highly anticipated sequel to the 2012 brutal, slash 'em up, colourful, wonderful music soundtrack simulator thing. Fantastic game if you haven't already played it. This is the sequel to that. We'll just dive right in here. This came out on Tuesday. It is on the PC and on PS4. Unfortunately, no Xbox One as of yet. I believe Sony had something to do with the publishing or development of the game. Maybe they helped fund it or something, so you know, maybe it won't come to Xbox One, but hopefully. But like I said, PS4 and PC for the moment. It's on Steam, obviously. So there's kind of a lot going on here, so we'll just jump into here. I think this is a good one to start with. It's pretty early on, so kind of avoiding spoilers and stuff. But if you've played the first game, then you'll know pretty much how this thing's gonna go gameplay wise. But there are a lot of sort of tweaks and new ideas and narrative stuff that's obviously new. So we'll just jump in here. So basically, we're in prison here. I don't exactly remember why. This is like right at the beginning of the game, but this cop's grilling us. He's like, "Yeah, what you been up to?" I'm gonna fry for it. The girls will be upstairs. Full statement. Soon they'll be on their way. It's down here for you. Until then, you're stuck with me. I ain't doing nothing, officer. God, look at him. He just looks dirty. He's like a dirty old man. You don't even know yourself, do you? Look at you, you're fucked. Completely fucked in the head, aren't you? Why would anyone else be killing kids in pigs' masks? It's the phone. You should answer it. There is no phone. I don't see no phone. He's crazy. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought this guy would be crazy? God. Right, we'll just skip through some of this stuff, okay. Straight to stuff that you remember. You know what needs to be done. I mean, he probably does want me to kill him. Alright, so we're just going to get in here and we're going to break his neck because that's what you do. And then we're going to stomp it in, we're going to pick up that baton. So same perspective, same general look, same general mechanics, I guess. From the most basic perspective, you can hold down shift. I'm playing with a mouse keyboard. You can hold down shift. Oh, down. I'm trying to explain. Hold down shift to move the camera out, which you definitely need to do a lot more in this one because the maps are and the levels are considerably larger in this game than they were in the first. Oh. Yeah. So you know, I'm sure if you played the first one, you were immediately familiar with this stuff. Like, oh shit! It's definitely at its core, it's very, very much the same game, and that is, you know, kind of up to you how you feel about that. Still got the same great style. I think it's got a great soundtrack. It's not quite as good, but still pretty great. Similar sort of style. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they have a lot of the same. A lot of the same artists that were in the first one, excluding like Moon, I think, which were one of the best from the first game. But they have a lot of artists I recognise from the first game. We can actually sponge a single pistol shot. It takes two pistol shots to kill us, but one shotgun will knock us down and will kill us instantly. I mean. Also, I like the way that he just just holds his pistol, this shotgun with one hand. It's pretty cool. Oh shit! I think that was like the last guy. So there's kind of like a light stealth element going on. Again, you know, if you played the first one, you'll know what I'm talking about. But melee weapons are basically silent. They will not attract guards. But if you use guns, then obviously, you know, as you would expect, you'll draw attention to yourself. So it's important to balance the sort of the usefulness and the power of guns with and the range, obviously. with sort of stealth and the speed of melee weapons. Like I've heard the argument levelled on against this game that, or the criticism I should say, we're missing that guy. That they sort of force you to, oh, there he is. Boom. They force you to use guns a lot more, which I think is definitely true, just by virtue of the maps being considerably larger. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Like, there is room to use melee weapons if you want. It's just a little bit riskier, a little bit harder to kind of get away with. Just did a lot of like 6 throws to knock them down and stuff. That's nice. So there are actually a lot of interesting sort of gameplay ideas going on here that we'll kind of get into a bit later with some of the later stuff. But early on, you got this sort of stuff where, like, this guy with the 2 pistols, like, you can't kill him, you just have to avoid him. And if he sees you, he will pretty much kill you instantly. So, as opposed to killing everyone like it is normally in this game, it's quite the opposite. You have to kill everyone else, but you have to avoid him. So they do sort of mix up the gameplay a little bit in a couple of ways, but in a lot more substantial ways than that, I should say. But that's kind of one of the minor things, to throw in a couple of things to change the pace up there, to sort of prevent it from just being about killing everyone. But don't get me wrong, it is definitely about killing everyone in the building. Definitely way more of a narrative focus in this game than there was in the first one. If anyone played the first one, you'll know that there was definitely a narrative. There was a narrative through there. It was intentionally very ambiguous. That was kind of part of the charm, part of the appeal of it. It was incredibly ambiguous. You didn't really know what was going on. Very trippy, very dreamlike, and that's kind of the point. It was meant to be like that, but this has definitely got a lot of that, but only really in spirit. It's a lot more focused. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. It goes completely balls to the wall, and it's insane. But oh shit, there's definitely more of a cohesive plot, and there's more of just like longer cutscenes and just like multiple. There is some interesting stuff that we won't get into in this video because it's, you know, spoiler territory stuff, but with multiple characters, like different timelines, different perspectives. That's kind of interesting. So, and being shot 6 times in the face. But it was all a film. What? Yeah. So obviously some of that crazy. There's like this weird conceit of it all being a film in the background, with this weird like shady director guy, kind of pulling the strings as it were, but it's kind of unsure as to whether it is a film. I don't. It's weird. Is he actually dead? So I don't know. It's weird, but I thought that was a pretty traditional level in a way. You'll see that you didn't actually get to pick a mask at the beginning, but we'll get into that in a sec. We'll skip out of this, because there is another level that I want to jump into. Because there are kind of different types of levels, and like as I said, we won't get into that. Different characters have different sort of setups, different abilities. Some have masks, some don't. Some force you to wear particular masks. So, and the masks, if you don't know, basically give you particular abilities or powers or something, and you can only choose one. And the first game was full of them, but this game has way less. Like, there were about I want to say close to 30 in which that's the one I'm looking for. There were about close to 30 masks in the first one. They all did crazy things, and then at the start of every level, you got the opportunity to pick a mask just like this. But in this game, there were probably about 10, I'd say, masks, and they're all split across different characters. Like this one has 4. So you can see roll dodge is useful. Killing punches, that was one that was in the first game. One of my favourite chainsaw guns. 2 machine guns is cool, but I think this is the most useful. And also one of the most interesting. And I'll kind of get into this as we get further into this level. Like this is easily my favourite mask, which is just really. So basically, as you can see, I'm controlling these two characters. Movement-wise, I'm actually only controlling the chainsaw guy, but the sort of aiming reticle applies to both of them. Alright, so left mouse button for me is chainsaw, right mouse button shoots. So instead of the normal control scheme where it's like, you know, left mouse button you attacks with whatever weapon you've got, and then right mouse button would like throw your weapon away at the enemy. This instead makes it so that you've essentially got two weapons equipped, melee and range. So you can't drop these weapons. You can't replace them. Actually, you can't replace the chainsaw, but once the gun guy runs out of ammo, he will just pick up the nearest weapon to him. So that's pretty useful. Nearest gun, I should say. You can't use ranged weapons. So interesting idea, if nothing else. Like the execution for this stuff's not 100% there. Like I don't have direct control over the gun guy, so his movement's a bit buggy. You'll see that he gets stuck on doors a lot. It's kind of hard to keep him, you know, actually in line of sight with the enemies. So it's not 100% there, but interesting if nothing else. So, it's kind of a shame that they do have these sort of like, way more interesting and unique masks than they had in the first one. Because first ones, there were some interesting ones, but nothing this kind of experimental and crazy. Shit. So I think it's a real shame that. I think it's a real shame that A, there are like a third as many, but also B, that you only get to use. You only get the option to use these masks in about like a third of the levels. Like most levels, like you saw with the previous one, like you just get put into it and they'll either not give you a mask or you get forced to use a particular one. You know, so that's a real. It's kind of frustrating. It feels like. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe I'm just jumping to conclusions a bit, but it feels like. They wanted to try some new stuff, but they also felt obliged to. Yeah, that's sweet. They felt obliged to like carry on with the old stuff, even if they didn't really want to or didn't really know how. So they just kind of. I don't know. I feel like the masks are kind of shoehorned in a little bit. They kind of feel a bit forced. I don't want to say that the developers didn't want them in or whatever, but I just feel like it doesn't flow with the rest of the game. Because as you'll see with some of the other stuff I'm going to show off, like there's a lot of pretty experimental stuff here, like a lot of very interesting ideas, unique gameplay twists, and you know, like I said, with the multiple timelines and what's the word? Timelines and fuck, what am I thinking? Timelines and shit. There you go. Sorry, I'm completely blanking that. Multiple timelines and character things. Perspectives, that's the word I'm looking for. So. I'm gonna give this level a few more tries, but we might just jump out because personally, I find this game to actually be considerably harder than the first game was. The first game was decently hard, but it wasn't extremely hard. Like this definitely feels a lot more challenging, and I don't know if it's just because it is actually a harder game, or it's just because of some of the like weird design choices between like the much larger levels, so you can't see. But this is as far as I can zoom out, and in the first game that covered most of the floors, most of the maps, because they were so much smaller. But I can only see this much, so. I'm alright here because I'm in the middle of the map, but when I was up there, you know, I couldn't see these guys. I could easily turn one of these corners and just get cut. I don't know. Easily just get shot off screen, which is frustrating, or you know, jump by a dog, which is even more frustrating. So I feel like they kind of artificially make it harder in a way that's not necessarily. I don't want to say not fun, but just a bit tedious in a way. Okay, we might actually finish the level this time. Nope. Jinx it. Alright, one more attempt. So, I'm working on a review for the site. That will go up probably this week, in a couple of days, probably maybe tomorrow, I don't know. depends on if the video goes up. But I have finished it, so I've kind of made my mind up on how I feel about it, but just yet to actually buy that thing. So I like it, but I'm kind of conflicted on it. I kind of feel multiple ways about it. I feel like on the one hand, the kind of core, like the addictive core of the series of the first game, like the action, the flow of it, the speed, the fact that you can constantly just retry immediately as soon as you die, as well as just the great style, the music's fantastic and all that. It's got all that core. It's just that I feel like it's a little bit too ambitious at times with some of the stuff that it goes for. I feel like there was a kind of purity to the first game. Alright, we'll jump out here. There's kind of a purity to just the nonsensical bullshit and just the insane violence and the colour and the wonderful music and just the flow of it and the speed, and it was just entrancing. And this still has that, but it's hard to get as excited about that stuff when you get bogged down with some of this stuff, which if I can try and find the right level. Ambush, that's the one. Like this isn't one of those like split timelines, or not split timelines, multiple timelines, multiple character things. So it's not quite Vietnam, but I just always call it Vietnam because it always reminds me of it. This is actually set in Hawaii. It's set a couple of years before the main event, where everything. Basically, you play as this guy. I can't remember his name, and it'll give you a choice of these weapons. We skip the story stuff, obviously, but normally you'd get this early on. This is the first one. Later you get machine gun, shotgun. Later you get big machine gun, sniper. Flamethrower I haven't actually used, so I'm gonna give that a shot. So these levels are interesting, not just because of their setting, and not just because it mixes up the kind of what you'd expect from Hotline Miami, which is very typical. Oh wow, fuck. Okay, that's absurd. That seems a little bit overpowered. But because it does this thing where it's a lot like the sort of chainsaw gun guy that I was talking about before, where I can't pick up weapons, but I have this weapon I picked at the start and a knife, and I can sort of switch between them. And obviously the knife doesn't have ammo, but this does. You can see in the bottom left it has an ammo counter. So I can't pick up weapons, so I have to just live off this ammo, which is fine because you can replace the ammo with these boxes once you've run out. But the problem is they only give you a fraction of the ammo. Shit. Okay, no, it's this one. They'll give you like a small fraction of the ammo that like 40. They give you like 40% of the ammo, and you can only get them from these set boxes. And they've got unlimited uses and stuff, but there's only one in each like area, so you're kind of limited to the amount of guns you can use. And it's kind of only when they throw enemies at you that can only be killed with guns, and you've got a limited ammo supply, and it kind of like it's an interesting idea, but I feel like it goes against the sort of purity of just because like the whole point of Hotline Miami is that you're supposed to jump between so many different weapons, and like this flamethrower is insane. Supposed to jump between different weapons, and like weapons are supposed to be kind of disposable, like that's kind of the point. You're supposed to use a weapon until you run out of ammo and then just throw it away and get another one. Use a knife and then just throw it at a guy's head and it sticks in him, and then you get the pipe that you had and you use that to kill a bunch of guys, and you throw it away to get a shotgun and then use that shotgun to kill a bunch of guys. And that's kind of the flow and the spirit of the game. Shit. I feel like this is, it's an interesting idea narratively and gameplay wise, but it just, I don't know, it takes something away from the overall Hotline Miami sort of spirit and flow and stuff. It's real done. So there are a couple of these. Again, you'll see that I didn't get to pick a mask, but I did get to pick a weapon, so the weapon's kind of the equivalent of a mask here, but Like, I enjoyed some of these ideas. I thought some of them were pretty good. Like, this is an interesting idea that doesn't quite come to fruition in its entirety, but there are like a number of these different types of levels, not just like this one, but other ideas that, again, move away from what you'd expect, sort of want from a Hotline Miami game. And you know, obviously they're allowed to deviate, but I feel like it goes against the spirit in a way, but like, there are other types of levels like this that, again, aren't quite what you want from a Hotline Miami game, and when it all stacks up, like, there's a lot of ambition going on. That's why I said that it's a very ambitious game. A lot more so than the first one. The first one was great, but, you know, it's pretty, you know, I don't want to say cut and dry, because it was incredibly unique, but it was incredible. Again, it's hard to say it without insulting the first game, but it was not repetitive, but there was only, it was pretty simple, you know. Levels rarely deviated from going into this room, this building, and kill every guy in this room, you know, in this building floor by floor or whatever, you know. So it's interesting that they sort of deviate, but I don't think that these missions work completely in execution. So I'll show you another one of these missions just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about the game being ambitious, maybe a little bit too ambitious. You know, maybe it's got too many ideas, or maybe it just tries too many ideas. Just trying to find the exact. This is a good one to show, I think. Oh, sorry. This is another one of the type of missions. Another one of the characters that I'm introduced. And again, we'll skip the story stuff, so it's no spoilers or anything. So I'm playing as this guy. He's basically like a writer, journalist type person. So obviously he's not used to killing. So basically the idea is that you don't kill people, you knock them out, and you can't use guns until you have achieved two basically achieved two what's the word, executions or takedowns or whatever they call them in this game. And you'll see that if I do manage to get a takedown, you'll see that you probably saw it with the first one, but if I do manage to get an execution, then the screen will start to fill red. If I do it again, it'll get redder, and then it'll sort of take a shirt off Hulk style, and then that will allow me to start using weapons properly. Because if I actually get around there without dying, okay. Oh, yeah, I think you saw the screen went a bit red there, but if I just try and pick up a gun here, then when I'm not in the proper state, then alright, there's a gun there. He'll basically just take out the clip or whatever, so you can't actually use that. Like, there you go. You saw it. You know, you can't use proper weapons. You can't actually kill people until you've activated like rage mode or whatever it is, and that's permanent. That's not temporary, but for the rest of the level at least. Like, again, I don't know, another interesting idea, but just, you know, I don't know if I really want to play a Hotline Miami level where, you know, I don't have the full ability to kill everyone in the room immediately. Like, you know what I mean? It should be hard, but this is kind of a bit of a tedious way to make it hard in a way, and it's so much so that I don't even want to actually finish that level, because I really hated those levels where you get to play as that guy. Because I mean, once you've hit 2 executions or whatever, rage mode, whatever you want to call it, it's fine, because it just goes back to being like the normal game. But it's just tedious to get there. It's just again, a nice idea, just not really. Just not really what I was looking for, you know. And like, it's a pretty long. It's a decently long game. Like, it took me just shy of like 12 hours, and it's considerably longer than the first game. It's probably about twice as long, to be honest. You see, there's 6 acts here, and there's about 25 scenes ish. Yeah, 25 including that one. So it's not a short game by any stretch of the imagination. So, like, to have a lot of these ideas that they just keep throwing at you. Like, for the first 2 acts, maybe, the first sort of 4 hours, I'd say, it's a fairly... It's fairly obvious. If you've played the first one, you know exactly what's coming. It plays like you'd expect. The levels are laid out very similar. I was really enjoying it, honestly, because some of the masks were kind of interesting, and I thought, yeah, I'm enjoying this more than the first one. But then it starts getting into its weird convoluted stuff with the weird Vietnam stuff and like the journalist levels, and they keep piling more and more ideas on as the game gets deeper and deeper. And for the narrative stuff, like, those ideas are at least interesting, but the gameplay ideas just don't really work, and I feel like it's a bit confused. And again, I'll go into more detail in my review, but like, I just don't. It's just not there for me. Like, I enjoyed it as a whole. Like, when I got into like the Hotline zone, if you will, I felt that, like, just that, you know, that exhilarating rush. You just get so zoned out and like in the Hotline zone and tranced out with like the trippy visuals, like the fantastic music and the speed and the pace of it. You know, I mentioned before. At its core, it works so well, but just the periphery just bogs it down so much. And there are actually a number of technical issues, which, you know, that stuff will obviously get patched out and stuff. So it's hard to really complain about that as like a long-term issue. But you know, it's a pretty buggy game from what I played of it. Again, it only came out on Tuesday, and I'm recording this on Thursday, so that stuff will obviously change. But you know, that's kind of it for me, honestly. Like, I put a dozen hours into it, and I just think, you know, I'm going to play a bit more for the review, but I'm pretty much done. I have no enthusiasm to really go back to it, which, honestly, playing this just makes me want to go back and play the first one, so I will probably just do that, honestly, to get my fill of this sort of gameplay. So, all in all, I enjoyed it, but a little bit disappointing, I have to say. I kind of expected it to be a little bit tighter, a little bit more cohesive than it was, so kind of a shame, yeah. Kind of a disappointing game. I know it's been getting pretty mixed reviews, but I've seen a lot of pretty harsh ones. I know PC Gamer gave it like a 50, 56, I think. The Guardian gave it a 4, like, you know, out of 10, so, like, yeah, people have not taken to this game particularly well, and I can see why, because I'm kind of disappointed. But yeah, review will be on the site soon, so do keep an eye out for that. Like I said, probably this week, maybe next week, so check out that. But yeah, that's Hotline Miami. It's about £12, $15. Like I said, it's on Steam, it's on PS4. No Xbox One as of yet. Hopefully that will come to it later, because I think the first one was on the Xbox. It was on 360, so it'd be a shame not to. But yeah, that's all for me for now, guys. So that's Hotline Miami 2. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.